What is up, guys? It's the Great Wall back at it again with another video. Today we are here with another Add a Legend team challenge. The team we are going to be doing today is the Seattle Mariners. As you guys can see, they're already ranked ninth. Um, but there is like a little bit of an update to the series that I wanted to make. No matter what, we will be doing 10 seasons of this, regardless of if they win it in year one, year two. They could win it all 10 years. Um, but yeah, we're gonna do at least 10 years, and then if it takes longer than 10 years, we'll keep going until they win one. But moving forward, that's gonna be how it goes. Just see how many we can win in 10 years if we do win one before then. Especially with a team like this where they're ranked ninth and they really only need a couple of different pieces. Like the only big need that they have is second base and first base. Like their closing pitching's pretty good. They got a couple good relievers. Really good starting rotation. So they really just need a couple pieces, and this team will be good to go. That being said, let's sim through year one and see how it goes. All right, we're at the home run derby. Who is in it? Nobody from our team. Obviously, we got Shohei Judge. Connor Norby, for some reason, is a beast in this game. Yeah, all right, that's fine. Let's go see who our singular all-star probably was. We aren't doing too hot by the all-star break. No starters, unfortunately. Brian Wu is here. Is that going to be our only one? I'm assuming we have to have Andres Munoz up there. Do we have anyone else? Nope. Alright. I would be very disappointed if this team doesn't make the playoffs, but let's go see if they do. Alright, so they finished 72 and 90 their first year, which is absolutely atrocious. Statistics wise, let's just go straight here. Position players. Rowdy Tellez was our main first baseman. Or DH. Let's go by WAR. He had the lowest by a lot. So I'm definitely going to go replace him. Who else? Did anyone else? Did Luke Rayleigh play? Yeah, he played a lot. Um, yeah, we're gonna go make the first addition to this team and see if it makes that big of a difference. What about the pitchers? How'd the pitching do? Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert. All right, so Bryce Miller didn't do too hot, but all around not bad. Brian Wu. All right. Alright, that being said, I'm going to go add the first player of this team and see if it makes a big difference. Alright, so the first player we are adding had to be Randy Johnson. I know, it sounds a little crazy considering how good this rotation is, but it wouldn't feel right if we didn't have Randy here. Obviously, he was an absolute beast when he played for Seattle. Only won one Cy Young. I say only, considering he won, what was it, 4 with the Diamondbacks, so... Yeah, but that being said, though, he is an absolute legend for this team. Um, yeah, so let's go see if he's the big addition that takes us to the playoffs. All right, we're at the All-Star break, home run derby. We do not have anyone here. Surprise, surprise. Is Randy an All-Star, though? I would have to assume so. Oh, obviously, we're not taking this deal. I didn't mean to click on that. Let's see. All-Star voting, Randy Johnson is number 1. Don't expect anything less from him. And Logan Gilbert is here, so we do like to see that. Andres Munoz, beautiful job. Anyone else from the beautiful Mariners? Nope. All right. Yeah. That being said, let's go see how they finish out their year. All right, they finished 104 and 58. Don't expect anything less from them. Start off with the awards. I'm guessing Randy Johnson, Cy Young. Yeah. That was a pretty easy one. 16 and 7, 2.4 ERA, 244 strikeouts. Could have been better. It could have been worse. I just realized he only has 3 pitches on this card, which is insane. Logan Gilbert, 3rd for Cy Young, had a hell of a season. Good for him. Anybody else? Cal. All right. I mean, team's decent, but let's go see the league leaders for WAR. Cal doing a job. J.P. Crawford, not bad. Randy, beast. Julio Rodriguez. Alright, it's okay. Pitching WAR, Randy Johnson with a 6.7. Is that the highest in his career? Probably not, right? No, he had an 8.7. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, he had damn near 10 a few times. Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller. I mean, considering we had 4 in the top 10, that's absolutely absurd. George Kirby. Who else do we have here? Anybody? No. Alright. That's good though. Let's go see if they can win themselves a World Series. Double A won a championship. First round, we got the Astros. Randy Johnson versus Framber Valdez. Oh, fix the lineups. Yep, there you go. Logan Gilbert versus Hunter Brown. George Kirby versus Hayden Wesneski. Easy sweep. Yankees in round two, or round three technically. Brian Wu versus Garrett Cole is a win. Bryce Miller versus Carlos Rodon is a win. Johnson versus Freed is a win. Logan Gilbert versus Garrett Cole is a loss. George Kirby versus Luis Gill is a win. We're taking on the Dodgers in the World Series. Brian Wu versus Otani is a loss. Bryce Miller versus Blake Snell is a loss. Randy Johnson versus Glasnow is a loss. Gilbert versus Yamamoto is a loss. We got swept in the World Series. Very close though. Yeah, I knew Randy Johnson was going to be a beast, but let's go add another player and see the difference that it makes. All right, the next player we are adding is Ken Griffey Jr., who is a absolute beast, legend for the Mariners. Won an MVP in '97 with the team. You guys can see the accolades. He was an absolute beast. So that being said, let's go see if this is what they needed to win a World Series. All right, we're at the home run derby. Does Ken Griffey make it in? He does not. All right. Let's go see how the two of them are doing. Is he in center field? Or in right field, I mean. Wow, only hitting 226. Because he's going down a lot versus last season, unfortunately. Julio Rodriguez being a beast. Randy, not bad. Don't have anyone good at any of those positions. What about Cal? He is the starter. Munoz. Logan Gilbert. Wow, no Randy Johnson yet. All right. Let's go see how they finish out the year. All right, so we finished 98 and 64, which is a slight step back. But let's go see awards. Did we have a Cy Young winner? Logan Gilbert. 3 Gold Glove winners, not bad. Top 2, okay. So Randy Johnson had a pretty good second half. Obviously, we had the Gold Glove winners. Did anyone win a Silver Slugger? Cal. All right, not bad. Let's see the league leaders. Randy Johnson, a lot of things. Yeah, wow. Team went off. Victor Robles stolen bases. All right, let's go take a look at the WAR. Ken Griffey Jr. in second. Managed to get his batting average up to 265 with 370 on base percentage. It's not the worst in the world. Not the worst. Cal 6.4 right behind him is kind of crazy. Julio 5.1. Who else do we have here? Randy Rosarena, Luke Raley with 250. It's not bad. All right. Pitching WAR, Randy Johnson, number 1. Logan Gilbert, number 3. George Kirby, not bad as well. Bryce Miller, doing what Bryce Miller does. Brian Wu. Yeah. I just hate that he always goes down immediately, which sucks. Anyone else from this team? No. No, we do not. Alright. That being said, let's go see how the playoffs go. We are taking on Minnesota in the first round. Randy versus Pablo. We win. Logan versus Joe Ryan. We lose. George Kirby versus David Festa. We lose. Brian Wu versus Pablo Lopez. Wow, we just lost in the playoffs to the Twins. All right, you know the drill. Let's go add another player and let's go see if it makes a big difference. All right, the next player we are adding is Ichiro. I will say that I did not make this card, but this is what he looks like. Ichiro is an absolute legend for the Mariners. He was a beast and a half, so the stats I think are pretty fair. Yeah, but that being said, Ken Griffey goes back to center field, and then I moved Julio Rodriguez to left field. I just, Ken Griffey is one of the greatest center fielders in my opinion, so leave him where he is, let Ichiro take over in right, and then move Julio over. That being said, Randy Rosarena will probably be our DH, considering he can't field very well. But that being said, let's go ahead, see how they do. All right, we're at the home run derby. Do we have anyone here? We should. Luke Raley, out of all people. All right, good for him. Hitting a little under 300. We do like to see that. All right, that being said, though, he's our only one. Let's go see how our all-star players look. Randy, Luke Raley, George Kirby is here. All right. Andres Munoz doing a job. Catcher. Cal, not having a good year. Luke Raley, like I said, being a beast. Polanco's okay. Third base. Who even is our third baseman? Oh, it's Dylan Moore hitting 213. All right. Shortstop is J.P. Crawford hitting 306. Not bad. Left field is obviously Julio. Isn't doing too well, which is okay. Ken Griffey only hitting 267. Need him to step it up this year. And then Ichiro obviously is being an absolute beast, hitting 336, 13 tanks, just his usual stuff. Yeah, but that being said, let's go see how the team finishes out. All right, so we finished 107 and 55, which is absolutely amazing. Let's see how the team did. League leaders: Randy Johnson, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Randy Johnson again. I mean, you know what it is. One of the best rotations in baseball. So, hitting wise, Ichiro absolutely dominated. Ken Griffey did too. All right. Ken Griffey had a 9.64. He did step it up in the second half, finishing 287.43. Damn. Good job from him. Yeah, very good job from him. Ichiro did very well as well. Wins himself a lot of stuff. All right, that's good for him. Anybody else? Cal doing his thing. J.P. Crawford, all right. Crawford before Julio Rodriguez is a little scary, but that's okay. Luke Raley, not bad. Dylan Moore, pretty good. All right. That being said, let's take a look at the awards. 3 Gold Glove winners, not bad. Rookie of the Year, Ichiro. Batting title, also Ichiro. Garrett Crochet beats Randy Johnson and George Kirby for the Cy Young Award, which is something. All right. Griffey third for the Hank Aaron. Obviously, we saw the Gold Gloves. Let's see. Silver Sluggers. Luke Raley finished off the year hitting 271 with 34 tanks. Not bad. There we go. Ken Griffey and then Ichiro. Not bad. Let's go see how they do in the playoffs. Double A we don't care about, obviously. We face the Orioles in our first round. Randy Johnson versus Zach Eflin is a win. Logan Gilbert versus Kyle Bradish is a win. Kirby versus Grayson Rodriguez is a win. Easy sweep. We go against Boston next. Brian Wu versus Cutter Crawford is a win. Bryce Miller versus Crochet, also a win. Randy Johnson versus Braxton Garrett is a win. Logan Gilbert versus Brian Bello is a win. Another easy sweep. We take on Pittsburgh. Kirby versus Skeens. Game 1, we win. Brian Wu versus Jared Jones, Game 2, we win. Bryce Miller versus Mitch Keller, Game 3, we lose. Johnson versus Skeens, we lose. Gilbert versus Miladonsky, we lose. Wow, so we lost 2 games in a row by 1, which is not ideal. On the brink of elimination, Kirby versus Jared Jones, we win. Wu versus Skeens, we win. We win the World Series. Mariners fans, rejoice. You guys are World Series winners for the first time ever. That being said, we are not done yet. So it took us what? 1, 2, 3. It took us 4 years, technically, to win the first World Series. Wow, 0.82 ERA is insane. The pitching staff went off. Who won the awards here? World Series MVP Ichiro, playoff MVP Ichiro as well. Went off, did a great job. All right, that being said, we're not done yet, but that's 1 down. Let's see how many more they can win. But I'm going to go add another player. All right, the next player we are adding is Edgar Martinez to replace Luke Raley. Yeah, Edgar is a beast. Amazing player over here. A couple batting titles, a few Silver Sluggers, and a lot of All-Star appearances. Spent his entire career here in Seattle, so yeah, I mean, he was a beast. Let's go see if we can go back to back. All right, we are at the Home Run Derby. Do we have anyone in here? We have Ken Griffey Jr. Would like to see Edgar Ichiro in here, but that's all right. Let's see the All-Star voting. Brian Wu, Jorge Polanco, and Ken Griffey Jr. All starters. All right. Randy Johnson, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby. So the starting rotation is lethal as we expected. And Andres Munoz, who is a beast. Cal. Okay, Edgar's only hitting 261, which is not good. Um, for his standards, I mean. It's pretty good in real life, but not for his standards. Jorge Polanco, like we said, third base. Not even scrolling all the way down. Um, Shortstop doesn't matter. Left field, where is the main man? Julio Rodriguez, 215, not it. Ken Griffey Jr. hitting 316 to start the year, not bad. And then Ichiro hitting 296, not the worst in the world. So yeah, that being said, let's go ahead and finish out the rest of this year. Alright, so we finished 108 and 54, which is insane. League leaders, you can see it. You can see it there too. Like, oh my goodness, this team's insane. Ichiro 10.5 WAR, hit 328 with 32 tanks. And then Ken Griffey 309 with 39 tanks. Absolutely lethal duo. Imagine if they played together in real life. Maybe they would have won a World Series. Cal 4.5, JP Crawford with a 4. Okay. I mean, so a lot of good stuff from the supporting cast, from what I'm seeing for the most part. Edgar Martinez, not bad. All right. Pitching war, Randy Johnson, Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu. 3 in the top 5, 4 in the top 10 is like absolutely insane. And then, our 5th starter is number 13. Like, that is insane. Truly insane. That looks like it for there. Awards. Randy Johnson was a Cy Young. A few Gold Glove winners. Rookie of the Year, Ichiro. I mean, let's be real, we were kind of expecting that. Damn, just missed out on all 3 of our outfielders being Gold Glove winners. Oh yeah, a couple of Silver Sluggers in here. We do like that. Wow, alright. The fact that he doesn't win a Silver Slugger award. Okay, actually kind of makes sense. Yeah, kind of makes sense, considering Judge hit 328 with 46 tanks. Alright, playoff time. We do have Houston in the first round. Randy Johnson versus Framber. Wow, 15-4 is insane. Logan Gilbert versus Hunter Brown. Nice little dub. George Kirby versus Christian Javier is a loss. Brian Wu versus Framber Valdez is a loss. Miller versus Hunter Brown is a loss. And we just blew a 2-0 lead to the Astros. Wow, that actually sucks so much. Alright, but that being said, we're going to go add another player and hopefully try to win another one. Alright, the next player we are adding to the team is Alex Rodriguez. I know it sounds crazy, but he was a beast when he played in Seattle. I mean, he was a beast everywhere he went, but that being said, we did add him to the team. He did play shortstop with the Mariners, so that's why he's there. Did move JP Crawford to third, so him and Dylan Moore might just split time a little bit. I don't know yet, but that being said, the team gets a lot better, of course. Let's go see how they do. Alright, we are at the home run derby. A-Rod is absolutely killing it right now, hitting 314 with 36 tanks. Alright. Alright, that's, something we do like to see. Let's go take a look at our all-stars. A-Rod, Griffey, Ichiro, Edgar Martinez, Cal. I mean, George Kirby's here, Brian Wu, Randy, not Sandy Johnson. Bryce Miller, I mean, lethal. Andres Munoz. I mean, 34 saves is insane, considering he only has 23. Yeah, it's insane. Cal is a beast. Edgar is a beast. Hitting 354. That's more like Edgar. Second base, Jorge Polanco's okay. Third base doesn't really matter. Shortstop, A-Rod is on. He's on fire. Left field, J-Rod is just. It's okay. But Griffey, Ichiro. Now we do have a couple DHs. Doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. But that being said, let's go finish out the rest of the year. All right, we finished 114 and 48, which is obviously insane. Pitching went off, hitting went off, as you guys can see, considering the thing goes off the list. Edgar hit 341. We had the top 3 for batting average. This team is just lethal. Luis Rengifo, I guess, just is that guy. A-Rod had an 11 WAR, which I'm guessing was good enough for MVP. Yeah, he did win pretty much everything. Griffey, Ichiro, Edgar Martinez, Cal. Anyone else do anything? JP Crawford, Julio Rodriguez. All right. Pitching wise, wow, Cole. Whoa. All right. Randy Johnson though, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, and Logan Gilbert all above a 3 WAR, which is insane. Shout out Shane Smith. All right, let's take a look at the awards. Obviously, we won a lot of awards. 6. Randy wins a Cy Young. Ichiro wins a Gold Glove. A-Rod wins a Hank Aaron. Ichiro wins Rookie of the Year, of course. A-Rod wins MVP. And Edgar wins the batting title. All right, all right. Great year all around. Andres Munoz, 3rd for Delivery Man. All right, let's get to the playoffs. We are taking on Baltimore, round 1. Michael King versus Randy Johnson. We win by a lot. Logan Gilbert versus Zach Eflin. We lose. George Kirby versus Grayson Rodriguez. We lose. Michael King versus Brian Wu. We win. Game 5, Eflin versus Bryce Miller. We lost. We lost. Can I not see, like... Damn, they scored one in the 8th. Yeah, that's tough. Alright, so we've only won one World Series so far, which is a little disappointing, but I'm going to go add another player and see if it makes a difference. Alright, the next player we are going to add is Kyle Seager. I did take the one from the free agency pool that they had, and I just boosted him a little bit. Obviously, he's not great, but he is an upgrade on, JP Crawford. He's going to bring a steady, good defensive glove to third base, and hopefully a decent, at least, bat. That being said, though, let's go ahead. Let's see how this team does. We need another World Series. It's been a while. All right, we're at the Home Run Derby. We have to at least have 2 people. Come on. Edgar and Ken Griffey. No A-Rod to be found this time. Okay, but we do have 6 All-Stars on screen, which is nuts. Randy Johnson, Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, all insane. Andres Munoz, beast. Cal in second. All right. Edgar's a beast. We don't have a second baseman, but Kyle Seager's only hitting 226. Like I said, he's not the greatest hitter in the world. He's kind of just here for his defense, but A-Rod at short is doing a job. Julio Rodriguez in left is doing great. Ken Griffey in center field's obviously amazing, and then Ichiro in right field is getting the job done. We do have multiple DHs, so it doesn't matter. But that being said, let's go and see how they finish out the rest of the year. All right, we finished 115 and 47, which is, like I said, obviously crazy. You guys can see I mean, come on. Aaron Judge had a hell of a year, though. Good for him. He's pretty much maxed out everything hitting-wise, which is just insane. Absolutely nuts. Batting war, A-Rod, Griffey, Ichiro, Edgar and Cal. I mean, Seager, Julio Rodriguez. Really no one's missing. There might be 1 or 2 people missing, but it's not much. Pitching war, Randy Johnson with an 8.1. Hell of a year. Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu. 3 in the top 5. That's the goal every year. George Kirby, and where's my last one? Is it Bryce Miller? Yeah. Only a 2 for Bryce Miller this year. Not great. But that is A-okay. We don't mind that. Great year from those guys. Let's go see the award winners. Cy Young goes to Randy Johnson. 4 Gold Glove winners. Rookie of the Year. MVP goes to Judge. Don't mind that. Couple Silver Sluggers. All right. Few guys, we like that. But that being said, playoff time. Who do we have in the first round? We have in division rivals, the Rangers. Randy Johnson versus Tyler Mahle is a thrashing. We got smoked. Nathan Eovaldi versus Logan Gilbert is a win. George Kirby versus Cody Bradford is a win. DeGrom versus Brian Wu is a win. We are heading to the Twins. Bryce Miller versus Pablo Lopez is a win. Randy Johnson versus David Festa is a win. Logan Gilbert versus Joe Ryan is a wow. 18-3 win. Pablo Lopez versus George Kirby, easy win. Nice little sweep. Now we take on the Dodgers. Brian Wu versus Shohei Ohtani is a win. Bryce Miller versus Blake Snell is a win. Randy Johnson versus Tyler Glasnow is a win. Gilbert versus Yamamoto is a loss. Ohtani versus George Kirby is a win. The Mariners are winning themselves another World Series. World Series MVP A-Rod. Playoff MVP also A-Rod. Do a job, buddy. Way to do a job. That being said, this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So another one in year 7, technically speaking. Year 6 of players that we've added. So 2 in 6 years is not bad. Kyle Seager did improve a lot throughout the year, which is good. But yeah, that being said, let's go ahead. Let's add another player. We got. Let me take a look. We got 4 players left. We got 4 players left, and let's see. Let's see if we can break the wins record. I mean, we should be able to. But that being said, let's go add our next player and see how we do. All right, the next player we are adding is Raul Ibanez, who, don't get me wrong, wasn't the greatest player of all time, but he was a very solid player in his years with the Mariners. Yeah, he wasn't the greatest in the world, but he wasn't bad. I know he was like mainly a left fielder when he was with the Mariners, but we need a first baseman. So I'm going to move Edgar to DH. Raul Ibanez is going to be our first baseman. And then, yeah, it's going to be it. Hopefully, to win a World Series. Yeah, that being said, let's go see how they do. All right, we're at the Home Run Derby. Who do we have here? Edgar and A-Rod. Not bad. Yeah, let's see how our players are doing All-Star wise. We only have 4 guys out there, which is a little scary. Brian Wu, Randy Johnson, Bryce Miller, and Logan Gilbert. So we do have 4 out of the top 5 right now. Andres Munoz doing what he does. Cal in third. Okay, Edgar in first. We do know that. Third base, Kyle Seager. Wow, he's up to 93. I mean, he's getting a lot better throughout the year, which is good. Okay. Shortstop, A-Rod's in second. All right. Not ideal, but that's okay. Left field, I mean, J-Rod has not been too hot in this sim so far. Griffey, though, only hitting 252. Wow. He's here just on his name. And then Ichiro hitting 331. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Edgar's actually our DH. So how is the other guy that we have added? Raul Ibanez hitting 289. He's down to an 84. He's down 5 overall somehow. Alright, that being said, let's finish out the rest of the year and see how they do. Alright, we finished 128 and 34, which is way good enough for the record. Let's see how the team did. League leaders, insane. Absolutely insane. Aaron Judge is just like absolutely sick for some reason, so good for him. Ichiro, Bobby Witt breaks up, and then A-Rod, Ken Griffey, Edgar Martinez, Kyle Seager, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez. Wow, there's no Ibanez. Dylan Moore, where the hell have you been playing? Raul Ibanez, what happened to you, bud? 2.4 WAR, but where is? Hold on, where has Dylan Moore been playing? Why does Dylan Moore have over 300 games played? Oh, because Raul Ibanez doesn't have. Raul Ibanez only has 300 at bats. But in 300 at bats, Dylan Moore managed to apparently do more than I don't know. All right, that's confusing. But let's go back, look at the pitchers. Actually, batting WAR, yeah, no, he's not here. Pitching WAR, Randy Johnson doing what he does. Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert. Anybody else? George Kirby, Bryce Miller. Assuming we don't have anyone else here. I haven't seen Luis Castillo here once. Andres Munoz, there you go. Haven't seen Luis Castillo one time. What happened to him? It's up to an 83. Does he just not? I mean, he's because he only pitched in 8 games. Yeah, why does Colin Snyder get so many innings? All right. That being said, awards: Delivery Man of the Year, Andres Munoz, good for him. Randy Johnson, Cy Young. Cal and Ichiro win Gold Gloves. Ichiro wins Rookie of the Year. Edgar wins MVP. Wow, Edgar won MVP. 49 tanks for the guy. Good for him. We had all 3 for the Cy Young, which is insane. That being said, though, you know the drill. Double A wins the championship. We're taking on the Red Sox round 1. Crochet versus Randy Johnson. This would be a legendary matchup, and we get smoked. Logan Gilbert versus Brian Bello. We win. Cutter Crawford versus George Kirby. We win. Brian Wu versus Walker Buehler. We lose. Bryce Miller versus Garrett Crochet. We win. Up against Baltimore, we got Randy versus Kyle Bradish. Win. Logan Gilbert versus Zach Eflin is a win. Grayson Rodriguez versus George Kirby is a loss. Brian Wu versus Tyler Wells is a loss. Bryce Miller versus Kyle Bradish, we need this one. We lose. Johnson versus Eflin, we win. Logan Gilbert versus Grayson Rodriguez, we win. All right, going up against the Braves in the World Series. Strider versus George Kirby is a loss. Brian Wu versus Schwellenbach is a win. Bryce Miller versus Reynaldo Lopez is a loss. Johnson versus Strider is a loss. Sale versus Logan Gilbert is a win. George Kirby versus Schwellenbach is a loss. And we get eliminated in the World Series by the Braves. That is truly unfortunate. Who won playoff MVP at the very least? Ichiro. All right. We'll get him next year. That being said, I'm going to go add another player. We have 3 players left to add, so keep that in mind. Alright, as you can see, the next player we are going to add is King Felix Hernandez. Absolute beast when he was with the Mariners. That being said, this rotation is absolutely filthy. They need to win a World Series again. But yeah, hopefully they can do a job. Let's go see if they can. Alright, we're at the Home Run Derby. Who do we have in here? Ken Griffey Jr., Cal, the Beasts. All-Star wise, King Felix. We got Edgar Martinez, Ichiro, Griffey, and Cal. Logan Gilbert here, Randy Johnson as well. Clark Schmidt, why are you here? Closing pitchers, Andres Munoz doing a job. Cal, Edgar. Don't have anyone at second base. Kyle Seager coming into his own for once. Not bad. A-Rod in second for shortstop. Julio Rodriguez finally doing something good. Griffey, Ichiro. Oh, how is Raul Ibanez? Alright, he's not going down rapidly this year, which is good. In 267, which isn't great, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's go see how they finish out the year. Alright, we finished 111 and 51, which is pretty good, obviously. That being said, let's go take a look at everything. You guys know the drill. Pitching went off, hitting went off. Ichiro 12.3 WAR. Griffey, Cal, Kyle Seager, A-Rod. Whoa, Kyle Seager. Hit 261, not bad. Edgar, anybody else? Julio Rodriguez, Raul Ibanez, up to a 91 actually, which is good. I do like to see that. Anybody else from this team here that we can see? Not that I'm seeing. Nope. Alright, not bad though. Pitching wise, we had the top 3. Randy Johnson, Felix Hernandez, and Logan Gilbert. George Kirby. Where's our last guy? Brian Wu. Not bad. Do we see Bryce Miller or Luis Castillo? That is my question. I'm not thinking that we do, unfortunately. We do see Matt Brash though. Alright, good for him. Alright, awards. Cy Young, Randy Johnson. Gold Glove to Kyle Seager and Ichiro. Rookie of the Year, Ichiro. Batting title, Ichiro. Alright. Playoff time. They need to get this job done. This team has been consistently way too good to not go ahead and win themselves multiple World Series in a row. We take on Boston in the first round. Felix Hernandez versus Garrett Crochet. We win. Randy versus Cutter Crawford. We win. Logan Gilbert versus Brian Bello. We lose. Kirby versus Walker Buehler. We win. All right, going up against the Yankees, Game 1, Brian Wu versus Max Fried. We win. Felix Hernandez versus Carlos Rodon. We lose. All right, Randy Johnson versus Luis Gill. We win. Logan Gilbert versus Max Fried. We win. Kirby versus Clark Schmidt. We win. 22-5. Oh, come on. This has to be. We have to win the World Series. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home runs. 6 home runs in an absolute shelling of a game. We are facing the Dodgers in the World Series. Brian Wu versus Shohei Ohtani is a win. Hernandez versus Blake Snell is a win. Randy Johnson versus Tyler Glasnow is a win, 17-2. Logan Gilbert versus Yamamoto is a loss. Sasaki versus George Kirby is a loss. Don't do it. Ohtani versus Brian Wu is a win. We win another World Series. All right, who is our World Series MVP? A-Rod, playoff MVP, also A-Rod. Great year. Great year. That being said, we do have 2 more players that I'm going to add, and then call it a year. But we do have 3 World Series wins up to this point, so see if we can finish with 5. That would be nice. But I'm going to go add another player, and then we will see how they do. All right, the next player we are adding is Robinson Cano, who was a beast with the Yankees, and he was also very good when he was with the Mariners as well. So he's here. Hopefully he can get us a job done. Yeah, this team is like insane at this point. Every position is in the 90s except for left field, but I'm not replacing Julio anytime soon. Yeah, so let's go see how they do. See if they can win themselves another World Series. All right, we are at the Home Run Derby. Show me Cano. A-Rod. No, that's fine. All-Star voting, Cano. We were missing like the entire left side of the field, which is a little weird. Hernandez, Logan Gilbert, Randy, and Brian Wu. So we have 5 of the top 6. Insanity. Oh. Andres Munoz and Matt Brash are getting absolutely shelled. That is horrendous. Cal, Edgar, Raul Ibanez, they're both at the top. I like that. Robbie Cano doing what he does. Kyle Seager in third. Okay. A-Rod in second. Just can't seem to make it in here. I don't know how. Okay, I don't get it. Left field, Julio in second. Not bad. So we're top 2 or 3 in pretty much everything. That being said, though, let's go ahead, finish out the year, and see how they do. All right, so we finished 122-40, which is also, breaking the record. League leaders, you guys can see it. The pitchers were absolutely insane. Did that just say someone had a 100% winning percentage? Felix Hernandez was 22-0 with a 1.89 ERA. He won the Cy Young and the MVP. You had the top 5 players in wins, the top 4 in losses. And considering our pitchers couldn't get saves to save their life, Andres Munoz 38 with 6 saves. Actually, it's not bad. This team is insane. This team is insane. Batting WAR, I mean, just look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's no way we have backups here, right? There's no way. Okay, so we do have 9. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. We have 4 out of the top 5, and 5 out of the top 10. That's absolutely insane. Anyone else here? Does not appear so. That is fine. Let's take a look at the awards. Alright, my batteries did just die, but we do have Felix Hernandez here winning a Cy Young. Rookie of the Year to Ichiro. MVP to Felix Hernandez. I mean, 22-0 is absolutely wicked work. That being said, we need to win the World Series. Come on. Back to back. Us versus the Rangers. We got Felix Hernandez versus Zach Allen. Is a dub. Randy Johnson versus Tyler Mahle. Is a dub. Logan Gilbert versus Nathan Eovaldi. Easy sweep. Going up against the Yankees. George Kirby versus Max Fried. Loss. Wu versus Rodon. Loss. Gil versus Hernandez. Loss. Johnson versus Garrett Cole. Win. Gilbert versus Max Fried is a loss. So we don't with a, the fact that we've won 3 out of the last 9 with this team being as good as it is absolutely insane. That being said, we have one more player to add, and then we're going to call this one done. All right, the last pitcher or player, I mean, that we are adding is Edwin Diaz, who was an absolute beast. Um, Almost won himself a Cy Young. Led the league in saves one year with the Mariners. So he was an absolute beast with them. So we add him to this already stacked team. This team has to win 130 games, or I'm going to be upset. If we don't win a World Series with this team, I'll be upset, even though we won 3 already. But that being said, let's go see how they do. All right, we're at the Home Run Derby. Um, we have 3 guys in here: Cano, Ken Griffey Jr., and Edgar Martinez. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Um, All-star wise, come on, show me the entire team being us. No, I mean, the only 2 being Red Sox players is kind of funny. Starting pitchers, we have 3 out of the top 5. Randy Johnson having a not a great start happens. Closing pitcher Edwin Diaz, 30 saves, getting it done. Um, don't expect anything less. Cal doing a job. Edgar and Raul both being absolute beasts. Cano, Kyle Seager is in second. All right. A-Rod, J-Rod is nowhere to be seen. I mean, he's not bad. 286 actually is pretty good. Griffey and Ichiro, obviously. 351 from Ichiro is absurd. That being said, let's go finish out the year. We need another World Series win, so yeah. So I said 130. Anything less than 130 wins would be a failure. We win 136 games. Um, this team is nuts. I mean, just look at the team. Just look at it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of the top 10 players are ours. 7. Um, 7, 8. And then 9, Raul Ibanez is not the greatest year, but it is what it is. Top 3 pitchers, of course. George Kirby and Brian Wu. I mean, probably Munoz, Gabe Spear, okay. Probably Munoz or Matt Brash as well, if I'm guessing correctly. All right, neither of them. Award winners: Edwin Diaz wins Delivery Man of the Year. Felix Hernandez, Cy Young. 3 Gold Glove winners: Hank Aaron goes to Ichiro. Rookie of the Year Ichiro. MVP Felix Hernandez, and batting title goes to Ichiro. Yeah, that is what pure dominance looks like. Going against the Astros, I don't think we lost 2 games in a row at all this season, besides maybe once. Technically, we lost 2 games in a row there. We lost 2 in a row there. So yeah, we lost 2 games in a row twice this year. We only lost 3 games that month. Yeah. So like I said, if we actually nope, make that 3 times. So 3 times in 1 year that we lost 2 games in a row. So if we somehow lose 2 games in a row here, I'd be very pissed. That being said, Felix Hernandez versus Framber Valdez is a dub. Randy Johnson versus Hunter Brown is a dub. Gilbert versus Christian Javier, loss. George Kirby versus Wesneski is a dub. There we go. Red Sox, we got Cutter Crawford versus Brian Wu, dub. Hernandez versus Brian Bello is a dub. Randy Johnson versus Garrett Crochet is a dub. Gilbert versus Cutter Crawford, loss. Kirby versus Hawk is a win. We're going up against the Reds in the World Series. All right, Brian Wu versus Hunter Green is a loss. Felix Hernandez versus Lodolo is a loss. Randy Johnson versus Rhett Lauder, win. Gilbert versus Singer, win. Kirby versus Hunter Green, win. Wu versus Nick Lodolo is a dub. So we do finish out with a World Series as we should. World Series MVP goes to Ichiro. Playoff MVP goes to Ichiro as well. Yeah, but that being said, this is what the final team looks like. I had a blast doing this. You know, as usual, I like doing these a lot. But that being said, this one's probably going to be one of the better ones we have for a while because of how much talent they already had. That being said, thank you guys as always for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and peace.